Welcome back. You're watching 101 East. We're talking today to Muhammad Yunus, Nobel Prize winner and the head of Grameen Bank. Thanks for staying with us. Do you feel that maybe you've moved from being a financier in a way and a technocrat to these days being a little bit more of a prophet?
I don't know. I did the same thing when I began in 31 years back. I was a teacher. I was not a banker. I never intended to be a banker. So I did it because I thought I can do it and it's needed to be done. So I used my own money to do it. I didn't go to somebody, give me money, I'll have to give money to. I just digged into own money, own pocket, and gave the people money. And then I went to the bank. When bank didn't agree, I offered myself as a guarantor. So I signed all their papers, took the money, gave it to people. That's how it began. So I was not doing a classroom job or a university job, just as a personal thing. So still I do the same way. In the process, I created a bank which is dedicated to do exactly that kind of work I'm talking about. And then people say it makes sense. They started copying, they started imitating, they started implementing similar programs all around the world. So, and then I said this has a possibility to change everything. The fault is we have not created a banking system which could be inclusive, bring it everybody. So why don't we go and do it? Because we have demonstrated and people are convinced that it can be done. So no matter how you argue whether this is some utopian idea and so on, we said what is utopian? These are concrete results.
So you are convinced that it can be done, and you've demonstrated that
Not
it can
alone.
be done.
I mean,
but now it seems you spend more of your time evangelizing those who say it can't be done.
No, I don't worry about who say they can't be done because they don't know how to do it. They have to come and see how it is done. I mean, just to say can't be done is not an argument. After all these years, and then finally comes the Nobel Peace Prize. There's another recognition. So, and this is now is being taught in schools, in universities, and so on, so that people can understand what this is. So this is a long process. It's not just a simple process that you say something and go home and sleep. You create millions and millions of people who have gone through that path and demonstrated that it can be done. So people who said it can't be done and go and sleep doesn't make sense to anybody. I mean, probably it doesn't make sense to themselves also.
You talk about changing minds and demonstrating models that can work, but people have been thinking along different lines and don't really see outside of that. Could this also be a description of your latest role, which is as part of this group that we're calling the Elders? Are you thinking of trying to change minds in a broader sense through this group?
Well, I was just drafted in. I had no idea what it was when
well, what is your view of this group then? How do you see its mission?
As I said, I didn't know anything about it, and I was approached whether I would like to join, whether they invited me and said this would be a good cause. It would be wonderful if I could join it. And I was happy to join it. And I see this is a possibility. Nobody can guarantee whether they can achieve anything. These are people who are in the group called Elders. These are respected people who have done things in the past, and their voice may be respected. Right. So it's a moral force. Moral force may work, may not work. They don't have guns, they don't have bureaucracies, they don't have anything except their voice and their credibility.
But it's an intriguing possibility, isn't it? It's a group of people, as you say, with a moral strength that perhaps not many people can muster, putting themselves presumably into situations where they might be able to make a difference. And let me quote you what Jimmy Carter said not so long ago. He doesn't have to be careful with his words anymore, and he can use a platform like this to actually just speak what he thinks is truth to a world that is having trouble hearing truth. Do you agree with these basic generalizations, and do you think that you can make a difference?
I'll put it this way. See, people are sometimes, most often are confused. What is the right picture, what is the wrong picture of the situation? Because they read through the media, the media depends on which media you're reading. They will depict it in their way. Another media you pick up, they depict in their way. So what is the real thing? Who is at fault? Who is the one dragging their feet? Who is the one not coming up forthright and trying to solve the problem? Each one blaming the other. So people don't know. So here comes this voice, unified voice, some people who have nothing to gain from it, because they have been presidents, they have been whatever they had to be, they have done all those, they are not coming back to the picture again. They said, this is the situation. This is what needed to be done. You must swing the opinion, at least part of it, not everybody, but part of it. Maybe this is the right version. I'll wait what they have to say, and I'll make my judgment. Then this becomes an important voice. That's how it is important in making. Then each one has to defend themselves. Why the elders say this and I'm saying this. So you are on the defensive now. Nobody will blame the elders. You will blame them, oh, these are all people, they don't understand the reality of the present world. You can say that. But the credibility they bring into the table, that's what may help inch a little bit towards the solution. That's all we are looking for.
I was intrigued by what President Carter had to say about this. He said the elders have complete freedom to escape from the restraints of political niceties and be able to talk to anyone and become involved in any issue, which presents some interesting possibilities. Let me put one to you that is very relevant to this part of the world. One of the honorary members of these elders is Aung San Suu Kyi, who is sitting in Myanmar in conditions that we're all familiar with. How can you help sort that situation out in an area like Southeast Asia, where everyone has been so careful not to talk frankly about the issues and keep everything behind closed doors?
Elders don't have army to send to release her from the jail or anything, nothing, except for the voice. The fact that elders put a chair for her express their endorsement of the fact that she should be released, this being extra pressure on the government. We are not going to go and kind of pull her out of the jail. No, we can't do that.
But are you prepared to stand up and publicly demand her release?
Well, that's what we have done by having a chair for her and accepting and providing the endorsement that she is a part of the elders. And we keep the chair empty because she cannot come and join us. So that is a public statement, a very symbolic one. Everybody can notice, everybody can say, hey, what's happening to her?
One of the original prime movers in the movement was Peter Gabriel, who said the dream was there might still be a body of people in whom the world could place their trust. Much of his argument was that the world has lost faith in its leaders and its politicians. Do you go along with that?
I just mentioned that people are confused, meaning that whatever voice they hear around, when I say media, maybe the government media, maybe voice of the government leaders, because after all, government leaders represent a policy of the government, not his or her own voice. So you don't know what he or she believes and what he says. So there may be a gap between the two, because you may not agree with everything you do as a government. As a person, you may differ from that, but you take the position because it's a government position. You are a diplomat, you say the things what your government wants you to say, not necessarily it's your own voice. So this is how everybody has its own restrictions, limitations, and angle by which you'd say. One way, these are free people. They don't have anything to achieve by taking one side or another. So they express freely what their view is, and not one voice. If 9 of them can combine their voices, it becomes a powerful voice.
Is there an issue that's particularly personal to you, a particular vision that you have that perhaps the elders might be a platform for you to launch it from?
Yeah, all of the hot spots. Each one can be very explosive and could destroy and derail everything that we are trying to achieve. So we'll be very careful so that the hot spots get cooled down and it resolved in a saner way rather than in a crazy way with firing guns and destroying each other. So this is one, it's a very important thing. And then other issues, which we are always talking about the political things. There are other issues like global warming. We need to raise the voice. Because otherwise we are heading for a very situation which will be hurting a lot of people around the world, particularly in Bangladesh.
Well, your country is
very
clearly
in the front line right away.
Very much in danger from any climate change.
We can talk about poverty. We can handle poverty. We can at least try, and we can get some success. But we cannot, by ourselves within Bangladesh, we cannot change the global warming situation.
Let me ask very quickly about your situation in Bangladesh. You made some exploratory political moves, thought about setting up a party, went quite a way towards becoming active and then stepped away. Why the sudden change of mind?
I declared that I'll join politics and form a political party, and 2 months later I said no, I will not proceed with that idea, and I'm stepping out of it. So that's about 2 months period.
Why the change of heart?
I didn't think I'll succeed in that.
That's an interesting change of heart. You don't think you have anything to offer in a political sense?
Well, I have a lot to offer, but I don't think this was a time people will take it.
Do you have any future plans?
No.
That's all.
Yeah.
So the future is continuing with the Grameen
What
model?
I do, what I always
you
did.
do.
So I saw that this is something that I don't think I can do it.
And your chances of changing the mindset of the global economic community, how do you
I'll continue to do that.
How do you rate your chances?
Fair chance, because I have done something which they cannot throw away. So something that you can't throw away, you have to adopt it somewhere. You can't say it doesn't exist. You can't say Grameen Bank doesn't exist. You can't say microcredit doesn't exist. So you have to come up with an explanation and say it's not important. Forget about it. So you have to find a way how to do that.
Okay. Thank you very much
Thank
for your
you.
time. And that's all we have time for on this edition of 101 East. Join us again next time. Bye-bye.